Introduction. The following presentation provides information about several of the most prominent tree pest problems that are affecting the health of trees in mid-America. This presentation also includes Mauget's recommendations for the treatment of the pests and/or diseases mentioned. Remember, it is important to read the label for the product being used to ensure you have all the information you need before applying. Bacterial leaf scorch. Bacterial leaf scorch is a systemic disease that is caused by the bacterium Xylella fastidiosa. It is most commonly found in red oak trees, but can infect other deciduous trees. Bacterial leaf scorch disease cycle. Bacterial leaf scorch starts when feeding leafhoppers transmit the bacterial pathogen from one tree to another. Leaf scorch symptoms first begin to appear in late summer through early fall. The pathogen interferes with the movement of water and nutrients in the vascular system of the tree. Bacterial leaf scorch symptoms. The scorch appears as an irregular browning along the leaf margin and may have a yellow halo border. The leaf browning spreads toward the mid-vein of the leaf. The leaves may curl and drop off prematurely. The disease symptoms reoccur each year and continue to spread throughout the tree's crown. Management and timing. Microinject trees with Micronutrient Ultra. When the bacterial leaf scorch symptoms are first noted, it will be necessary to retreat in the fall or early spring for symptom remission. Microinject Stemix Plus to increase the vigor of the tree. Remove dying and severely symptomatic trees. Irrigate trees during dry weather conditions to reduce stress. Microinject Ultra and Stemix Plus are both available in 6 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Bagworms. Bagworms have become a problem predominantly south of Interstate 80. They are primarily a pest of different evergreen species, including arborvitae, juniper, pine, spruce, and others. Bagworms may also attack certain deciduous trees, such as black locust, honey locust, and sycamore trees. Their feeding activity causes significant damage to the needles or leaves, causing stress to the host tree. Bagworms description. Newly hatched larvae are small, about 2 millimeters, and are glossy black on the back and dull amber on the undersurface. Mature larvae are 18 to 25 millimeters long and are dull gray with darker splotches on the head. The mature larvae, including the bag made of silk and pieces of the host plant, are 30 to 50 millimeters. Bagworms life cycle. Bagworms overwinter as eggs inside the bag. In the spring, beginning in May through June, the eggs begin to hatch. The newly hatched larvae crawl out of the bag and begin feeding. During the summer, the larvae continue to feed on the foliage of the host tree. They construct silken bags over their bodies, consisting of foliage, leaves, and other plant materials. Bagworms life cycle. Late in the summer, the bagworms pupate over a period of approximately 4 weeks. In the fall, the adult winged males leave their bags and fly to bags containing females. The females do not have wings. Mating takes place and the female produces eggs that overwinter in the bags. Bagworm symptoms. Frequently, the first indication of a bagworm infestation is when the host tree or shrub becomes partially defoliated, brown, and unsightly. Upon closer observation, the protective bags created by the bagworm can be seen. Management and timing. Bagworms can be managed by microinjecting with Abicide 2 in the summer, when feeding damage has been identified and bags are found on the tree. Early detection of bagworms will prevent serious damage to the tree. If bagworms are detected, either on the tree or nearby trees, inject as soon as possible in the spring before hatching begins. if removing all bags is not an option. Since mature larvae loop a silken strand around a branch and close off the bag, at that point feeding has ceased and attempts at chemical control will not be effective. Abicide 2 is available in 2, 3, and 4 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Next is Diplodia Tip Blight. Diplodia Tip Blight has become more of a problem in many areas and infects many different conifer trees. The most susceptible trees include Austrian pine, ponderosa pine, and Scots pine. Although they are less susceptible, pine, cedar, fir, larch, and spruce may also be infected. Diplodia description. The most identifiable symptom of Diplodia tip blight is the stunted brown needles that usually occur on new shoots. Infected needles remain attached and are shorter than healthy, non-infected needles. In severe cases, entire branches are infected and cankers will be visible. The signs of the actual fungus are dark brown fruiting structures that form on needles, sheaths, and scales of second-year cones. Disease cycle. Dark brown conidia under the needle sheaths are spread by rain from early spring to late fall. They enter directly into the needle and bud tissues and create new infections. Lesions around the infection sites grow rapidly in twigs and needles for about 3 weeks during spring twig elongation. Wounding caused by insects creates entry sites for spores, which develop into cankers on stems and branches, causing severe damage. Symptoms. Symptoms of Diplodia tip blight can include blight and dieback of the tips of branches, exudation of resin drops on affected growing tips, stunted bud development during needle elongation. Needles develop a yellow-green to straw color. Tissues in elongated lesions are water-soaked, dark brown to red in color. Repeated infections deform the growth and development of the crown of the tree. Management and timing. Diplodia tip blight can be managed by microinjecting Fungisol in the fall or early spring. A second application may be necessary the following year. Microinject Stemix Plus or Injectamin Iron Zinc to accelerate the rate of stem elongation. Prune and remove dead branches. Sterilize pruning tools between cuts. Reduce factors that can cause additional stress to the trees by providing irrigation during dry weather, proper pruning, mulching, and sanitation practices, for example. Fungisol is available in 4 and 6 milliliter capsules. Stemix Plus is available in 6 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles, and Injectamin Iron Zinc is available in 6 milliliter capsules. Pine wilt disease. Trees that are most susceptible to pine wilt disease include Scotch pine, Austrian pine, Japanese red pine, Japanese black pine, jack pine, and mugo pine. The pine wilt nematode. Most pine wilt nematodes spend their entire life inside the vascular system of the host tree. They eventually clog the vascular tissue of the tree, causing the tree to die. The pine wilt nematode is transported from an infested tree to another tree by the pine sawyer beetle. Pinewood nematode life cycle. The pinewood nematode, shown here, has many generations per year. Females lay dozens of microscopic eggs over several weeks before dying. The eggs hatch and become adults in 4 to 12 days. The adult is microscopic and worm-like. Pine wilt nematode symptoms. Pine wilt nematode symptoms include stunted growth. The foliage of the affected tree becomes light green to yellow in color and then turns brown. Dead needles hang on to the branches. Infested trees will be killed in 1 or 2 years without an effective management program. Management and timing. Pine wilt nematodes may be managed by microinjecting Abicide 2 in the spring to provide season-long control, or inject whenever an infestation is first detected. Quickly remove infected trees to break the nematode's life cycle. Burn or bury the infested wood. Do not use it as mulch. Reduce factors that can cause additional stress to the trees, such as providing irrigation during dry weather, proper pruning, mulching, and sanitation practices. Abicide 2 is available in 2, 3, and 4 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Phytopthora Root Rot. Phytopthora root rot may be found throughout the United States. It infects many different species of trees and is caused by a fungus. It has a tendency to be a problem following cool, wet weather conditions during the spring. It affects trees that are growing in poorly drained, wet soils and trees that were planted too deep. Phytopthora root rot disease cycle. Phytopthora is a soil-borne pathogen that survives cold weather and drought as resting spores, known as oospores, in infected plant tissue and in the soil. The oospores enter the host, either through wounds or direct penetration. The pathogen grows in the host's vascular tissue, eventually girdling the tree. Phytopthora root rot symptoms. Phytopthora root rot symptoms include cankers at or below the soil level and extending into the root system. Infection may invade both the trunk and the main stem. The infected bark is brown and often slimy when wet. When infected bark is pulled away, the cambium layer and phloem are reddish-brown in color. Phytopthora root rot symptoms. The cankers caused by Phytopthora root rot girdle the tree, resulting in poor vegetative growth and light green chlorotic foliage. Without an effective management program, trees may be killed in one growing season or several seasons, depending on the severity of the infection. Management and timing. Phytopthora root rot can be managed with a microinjection of Arborphos. Inject at the first sign of disease. Follow-up treatments may be necessary depending on the severity of the disease. Improve soil drainage around trees. Avoid overwatering and prolonged periods of water-saturated soil. Select planting sites with adequate drainage throughout the year. Use proper planting techniques and plant trees with root flares slightly above the soil grade. Arborphos is available in 5 and 7.5 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Hemlock woolly Adelgid. Hemlock woolly Adelgid description. Hemlock woolly Adelgid adults are aphid-like insects belonging to the Hemipteran order of true bugs with piercing, sucking mouthparts. Both the crawlers and adults are very small and difficult to see with the unaided eye. Their white woolly masses on needles are easily identified on the branches at the base of needles. They feed on all species of hemlock. Hemlock woolly Adelgid can be found from northern Georgia up into southern Maine. They have recently been found in western Michigan and northeastern Ohio. Hemlocks in any area of the country are at potential risk. Hemlock woolly Adelgid life cycle. In North America, hemlock woolly Adelgid are nearly all females. Males are winged and can be found on spruce, but their biology is not well understood. Hemlock woolly Adelgid have 6 life stages of development, starting with the egg, followed by 4 nymph instars before reaching the adult stage. Hemlock woolly Adelgids have 2 generations per year. From early summer through mid-spring the following year, they go through an estivation period in which their development slows, presumably due to predaceous activity from other insects. Their spring generation is from early spring through midsummer, and development is much faster than the winter generation. Hemlock woolly Adelgids may be identified by their white, woolly masses that protect the eggs. The white masses can be found at the bases of the needles. Eggs hatch into nymphs, or crawlers. The nymphs go through 4 instars before they become adults. Nymphs insert their piercing mouthparts into the bases of needles and feed on the tree's stored nutrients. They remain at the base of the needle for the rest of their lives. The nymphs develop into adults that continue feeding on the host hemlock tree. The wingless adult Adelgids lay eggs in the white, waxy wool that they produce. The spring generation produces both wingless and some winged adults. Hemlock woolly Adelgid symptoms. The symptoms of a hemlock woolly Adelgid include white woolly masses on branches, gray tinted needles. Needles turn yellow, brown, and drop from the tree. Branches die back. Death to tree after 4 to 10 years of infestation is highly likely if left untreated. Management and timing. Hemlock woolly Adelgid can be effectively managed by microinjecting with Dinocide or Imicide as soon as new growth begins in the spring to provide a season-long preventative control program, or microinject with Dinocide or Imicide when an infestation is detected as a curative treatment. Dinocide and Imicide are both available in 2, 3, and 4 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Spotted lanternfly has been spreading, so let's take a minute to review. The spotted lanternfly is an invasive species. It is currently, as of August 2022, in 11 states, including Connecticut, Delaware, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, and continues to spread. The blue on this map reflects areas where spotted lanternfly has been detected as of March 2022. It affects over 100 different host trees. The spotted lanternfly is highly attracted to the tree of heaven. It is a large leafhopper that feeds on the sap of trees with its piercing, sucking mouthparts. Spotted lanternfly life cycle. The spotted lanternfly overwinters as an egg in an egg mass. From April through June, the eggs hatch into nymphs. April through September, the nymphs feed on the sap of host trees. They go through 4 instars, becoming larger in size and more colorful in each instar. They emerge as adults beginning in July through December. Spotted lanternfly life cycle. The adults also feed on the sap of trees. They have a wingspan of 1 1/2 inches and are very colorful. The adults mate and the females lay egg masses. Symptoms indicating the presence of spotted lanternfly include the insect itself. The spotted lanternfly can be seen as an egg mass during the nymph stages and as an adult. During 4 nymph stages and as adults, they may be seen feeding on the host trees. High populations of nymphs and adults excrete honeydew, which will develop into sooty mold. Extensive feeding activity will also cause stress on the host tree. Management and timing. Here is Mauget's spotted lanternfly treatment calendar. Trunk inject Dinocide July through October, when the nymphs are in the 3rd or 4th instar. Although studies have shown Dinocide is the most effective, Imicide is also a treatment option. Injecting in July through October will provide a quick knockdown when spotted lanternflies are actively feeding on the tree. It will also provide control through breeding and egg laying up until cold weather. Inject trees with Dinocide after trees have bloomed to avoid potential exposure to pollinators. Dinocide and Imicide are available in 2, 3, and 4 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Spongy moth, formerly gypsy moth. The name is changed, but all the characteristics remain the same, so let's review. The spongy moth feeds on over 500 host plants. It may be found in most of New England, the mid-Atlantic states, and in parts of the Midwest. The red on this map shows areas that were quarantined in 2008, and the variety of colors outside the red areas show where it has expanded through 2019. Spongy moth description. Spongy moth eggs are laid in masses of over 400 eggs. The egg masses are light brown in color. They are deposited on branches, tree trunks, fences, stone walls, and many other surfaces. The larvae are caterpillars that are 1 to 1 1/2 inches in length. The larvae are all black until the end of the first instar. Then they have yellow markings on their head, a hairy body, 5 pairs of blue spots, and 6 pairs of red spots. Spongy moth description continued. The pupae of the spongy moth is a cocoon that is dark reddish-brown in color. It pupates in a protected place, such as a bark crevice. The adults are moths with a 2-inch wingspan. The females are white with a V-shaped mark on each of their wings. The males are mottled brown and gray in color, with feather-like antennae. Spongy moth life cycle. Spongy moths have 1 generation per year. They overwinter as egg masses. The eggs hatch into larvae in early May. The larvae balloon on silky threads and spread to additional trees. They go through 5 or 6 instars for about 40 days. Starting in the 4th instar, they migrate down the tree and feed at night. It is estimated that 90% of the feeding damage occurs during the 4th or 5th instar. Treating early is essential. They pupate for 10 to 14 days. Adults emerge, live for 6 to 10 days, and mate during this time. The females lay eggs that will hatch the following spring. During the fall, the spongy moths are in the egg stage. Spongy moth symptoms. Symptoms indicating a spongy moth infestation are usually obvious. The spongy moth itself can be seen in the egg mass, larvae, and adult stages of their life cycle. During the larvae stage, they feed extensively on the foliage of host trees. When high populations of spongy moth larvae are feeding, frass may be seen under the host trees. Management and timing. Spongy moth can be managed by microinjecting trees with Abicide 2 in the spring when the leaves are 1/2 their full mature size, or inject when the larvae feeding is first observed. Abicide 2 is available in 2, 3, and 4 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Micronutrient deficiency. Although it might not technically be considered a pest, let us spend a little time reviewing micronutrient deficiencies. In order to grow and maintain their health, plants have nutritional requirements. Macronutrients are needed in larger quantities and include nitrogen, phosphorus, hydrogen, oxygen, calcium, sulfur, and magnesium. Micronutrients are needed in smaller quantities and include boron, chloride, manganese, iron, zinc, copper, and molybdenum. Micronutrient deficiency description. Micronutrient deficiencies are common in many different tree species, including red maples, pin oaks, birches, palms, sweet gum, and other trees. Micronutrient deficiencies can be due to a lack or excess of certain nutrients in the soil or because of pH-related issues. Micronutrient deficiencies are usually an indication that the soil is too alkaline. Plants prefer a soil pH between 6.0 to 6.5 because that is when most nutrients are chemically available for root uptake. Sometimes high levels of manganese can cause magnesium deficiency. The photos here are just 2 examples of how nutrient-deficient trees may look. Micronutrient deficiency. Micronutrient deficiencies are also likely to occur in soils with low organic matter content. These soils can lack the ability to hold mineral nutrients. Organic matter also acts as a buffer for soils that have a highly acidic or alkaline pH. Nutrient deficiencies can also occur in coarse-textured sandy soils. They do not have the nutrient-holding capacity of a soil that has a higher content of clay or silt. Areas that receive heavy rainfall can have micronutrient deficiencies because rain is leaching the nutrients out of the soil. Deficiencies can also occur in heavily manipulated soils, such as in agricultural settings or areas with soil fill. Palm trees frequently grow in these soils and weather conditions. Effects on trees. Nutrient deficiencies can result in trees failing to grow and become properly established. Lack of available nutrients leads to a reduction in the photosynthesis process, root development, leaf production, and leaf expansion. Flowering can also be reduced in ornamental trees. Nutrient-deficient trees are under stress, which makes them more susceptible to damage from insects, diseases, and other environmental factors. Symptoms in broadleaf trees. Micronutrient deficiency symptoms in broadleaf trees cause many uniquely different symptoms, depending on the plant and the deficiency. Some of the more common symptoms include leaves that are light green to yellow in color, chlorotic. Necrotic spots on leaves. Leaves that are smaller, narrower, and more pointed than normal. Shoots that are smaller in diameter than normal. Symptoms in conifer trees. Micronutrient deficiency symptoms in conifer trees can also cause uniquely different symptoms. Common symptoms include needles that are light green to yellow, chlorotic in color. Branches and needles extremely stunted in growth. All of the needles except the first and second year needles have dropped. Terminal branch dieback. Symptoms in palm trees. Micronutrient deficiencies in palm trees are usually due to a specific nutrient deficiency. The symptoms in palm trees frequently appear on the oldest leaves first and progress to the youngest leaves. Some symptoms of a deficiency include a golden to yellow color of the petioles and bases of leaves, leaves with mottled, yellowish, translucent spots. The edges and tips of leaves may brown in color. New growth can be deformed or reduced in size. The tree's overall rate of growth can be decreased. Compromised root systems. A compromised root system may contribute to a micronutrient deficiency because the root's ability to take up nutrients has been impaired. Roots may be compromised by several different factors, including injury, root disease, poor site conditions, drought, soil compaction, and/or water-saturated soils. Management and timing. Microinjecting nutrients directly into the tree provides nutrients to the tree very quickly and bypasses the soil and roots. A micronutrient deficiency may be managed by microinjection of either Stemix Plus, Injectamin Manganese, or Injectamin Iron Zinc. For best results, inject in the fall or in the spring, before the leaves reach their full size. Stemix Plus and Injectamin Manganese are available in 6 milliliter capsules and 1 liter bottles. Injectamin Iron Zinc is available in 6 milliliter capsules. Share your success. You may even want to keep a visual record of your treatments for your files, and Mauget would love to hear your success stories. It's always nice to have a reminder of your successes to show your current and future clients. So take a picture before you treat. Keep good notes on the treatment. What was the issue being addressed? What was the treatment, including where and when? Then go back and take another photo from the same vantage point to create a useful before and after presentation. Now you have something to verify the results for your records. Take an extra few minutes and send that information to info@mauget.com with the subject Before and After, and we will spotlight you and your company on our Instagram page @CaringForTrees. Conclusion. This concludes this presentation. Upon passing the test, you will earn the ISA CEUs listed in the description. We encourage you to watch additional modules so you can continue to expand your knowledge and add to your ISA CEU total. This presentation also included Mauget's recommendations for the treatment of the pests and/or diseases mentioned. Remember, it is important to read the label for the product being used to ensure you have all the information you need before applying the product. Mauget can help you take care of your customers' trees. Be sure you are on Mauget's email list to ensure you receive our monthly bulletins. Mauget has been the right way to treat a tree for over 6 decades. You can count on Mauget to keep you up to date on the latest advances in microinjection. Remember to follow us on social media and join the forums on Mauget Certified to learn what other applicators are doing, issues they may be having, and share your knowledge and experience. We are happy to have you as part of the Mauget team. We look forward to growing together.